Hello. I'm just starting up and not much to say about much yet. What is going on with the arena? Arena's so janky, man. What? Well, good to see everybody. If you're commenting on X and whatnot, it does take a bit of time for it to show here. So sorry if I take a bit long to respond to those posts and whatnot. I'm busy setting up all the other stream thingies, but I'm happy to respond to as many comments as I see. And Arena Social is really fighting us here, man. Arena Social like, I'm a real boy. See, in general, the numbers on Arena Social are pretty low. I think there must be some issues that side. In the meantime, let me see if I... oh, yeah, I can do this stuff. Yeah, created a new stream. Nice. I can add some cool stuff. Tra-la-la-la-la. Some cool stuff, tra-la-la-la-la. We can watch some videos. La-la-la-la-la. videos, tra-la-li-li-loo. Let's go.
Welcome, Commander. You are now interfacing with the next evolution of defense technology. This is where vision meets execution, where your support fuels the resistance. Engage with us, amplify our reach, and help us push this mission beyond the threshold. The future is unwritten. Let's code it together.
Well, here we go. After almost 3 years of hard work, we've arrived at that point where we can show you, our backers, that our dream is possible. And all of us having this common love for tower defense games said, well, let's start off, let's make an incredible tower defense game and then make it so that it has all the elements that all of us love about gaming. And then we said, what disruptive technology can we get in there to make it even more fun? Well, AI NPCs, NFT technology so that people can own every single asset in the inventory and be able to sell it to each other. The ability to have a multiplayer experience across all devices. We wanted it all in one game, and that's why we took these first 3 years to make sure that we could actually do this. So imagine a bunch of gamers who come together to build a game that is everything that all of them love about gaming in one game. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Operation Safe Place Defense.
All right, Commander, new orders from the brass. Get down to the CTL forward operating base and engage with my Echovant. Make sure you record the interaction so that the Altherans may see, believe, and continue to fund our war against this present darkness. Now go.
Alpha 23700, I copy your checking in. You have your messages. Have a good night.
Alrighty, we finally arrived here in the in-between. Got a instruction from Gunnery Sergeant Callum Lee Murray to come speak to his Echo, which is kind of like his battle droid that carries his consciousness down here in this very, very dangerous area. But first, I'm a little bit nervous, so I'm just going to go and chat to Chen AI. She's the Echo from the big ship that you've seen called the Lucille, and he's zoot up here, and I'm just going to ask her. She's very chatty, sort of. Hey Chen AI, I'm a little nervous to speak to Gunny about money matters.
Money matters can be stressful. Tell me more about what's making you nervous. Perhaps I can help you strategize.
Well, we need to excite people about our cause here in the in-between and get them to be generous, help us get the job done.
Ah, fundraising in the in-between. A challenge, but not insurmountable. We need a compelling narrative. Something that resonates with the unique circumstances here. What resources do we have to work with?
Just a bunch of good people willing to sacrifice to get the job done.
Sacrifice is a heavy price. We need to find a way to inspire generosity without resorting to that. Let's focus on building a message that highlights the impact of their contributions. A vision of what we can achieve together. Perhaps a demonstration of our capabilities. A showcase of our progress to date.
That's a great idea. I think we're going to go and pop around to Gunnery Sergeant Callum Lee Murray and ask him what his thoughts are.
Excellent. Keep me apprised of your conversation with Gunny. His insights are invaluable.
Will do, ma'am.
Good. And remember, focus on the positive impact, the shared victory. That's the key to inspiring generosity.
Alrighty, so that's Chen AI, the Lucille massive interdimensional jump ship's AI. And this is the is the Echo of the very intimidating Gunnery Sergeant Callum Lee Murray, aka Gunny. Hey, sir.
What?
I've been instructed to ask you to share some thoughts on the importance of people contributing to our cause here in the in-between.
Cause. Ain't no cause here but survival. Every breath you take in this hellhole is a victory. Now, quit your yapping and find something useful to do.
Not a very nice guy. But it's important to raise funds so that we've got guns and bullets and mechs and things to keep the darkness at bay.
Funds? Mechs? What in the hell you talking about? We scavenge what we can, fight with what we got. Ain't nobody sending us care packages in this forsaken place. If you want a gun, find one. If you want bullets, make 'em. If you want to live, then fight like hell for every damn second. Now get out of my sight before I decide you're more trouble than you're worth.
Yes, sir.
Then move.
He's hardcore.
Alright, so as you can see, they're quite different personalities, these two. But yes, you're going to have a lot of fun in the in-between and in the greater world of Athera. And please enjoy our crowdfunding video as we open up the pledge store and get excited about all our backers making this vision their vision. Thank you for believing in Operation Safe Place Defense.
Every
girl. Safe.
All right, hello everybody.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Hey, hey, hey. Oh, Sir Choice, we can see you in the flesh.
Yes, finally. Yeah,
That's
you
very
you
cool.
look at.
Do you know that Senior Choice is a boy? Did you know this?
Yeah, I figured that out. I'm very clever.
That's amazing. Ooh, who's this saying hello to us in the comments there, Vanessa?
Sunny V in the house. You're awesome. We love you, Sunny V.
Sheshi play a lot, and currently it's a Grumple Funk play a little. Hey, Stellini! Stellini, Drappellini, di Tocanini. I see the mighty Rob is on stage. What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be working somewhere, or are you doing both?
I, sir, am doing both right now.
Okay.
What
fine.
up?
Hey, Rob. What
Yeah.
up?
I also need a nice backdrop. Why don't I have a nice well, I get one backdrop. for the
Oh!
nice session.
Wait,
Oh,
yeah.
can you put a backdrop
Oh,
like
you had a
while you're up
haircut.
here?
I think you might be able to.
I'm going to work that out.
Yeah, look, I had a haircut. I had a cleanup. You know,
Pretty, man. Yeah, see, look at you. You look like 10 years younger, which means now you look 14. See what I did there?
No longer 21. Yeah. How's it?
Listen,
Sir
after the
Choice,
meeting
what
we
up?
just had,
What up, Rob?
after the meeting
What
we
up?
just had, Jason and I just had. That's Alex from Altura, the guy,
Is
you
it
know, Alex, man, our
Oh,
boy,
wow. Okay.
dude.
Okay.
Alex!
He
I don't know
is
who you
back.
are, but hey.
No, well, Alex is in the meeting we just had.
Ah.
Yeah, I mean, he's like backed by big money. A guy who sold a company for $1 billion is backing this thing. So they don't do the grant stuff, but what they do is they identify games that they believe in. So, like, yeah, we're one of them. And then they take full risk on financing the top 50% or sometimes even higher of NFT sales. So if people want to buy an NFT from us, they can pay off the other 50%. So if they want to buy like a $100 NFT, then they pay $50 and they can pay it off, which is going to be very handy for people who have packs, who want to buy full prestige packs, you know, things that cost like $500, $1,000 and give them the edge.
That's awesome.
Yo, that is very, very awesome. That was a good meeting. So they, I'm very glad that we were on their list.
That's awesome.
That was very cool. So,
Awesome.
do you guys know that funk holders, people who hold the funk coin, you're in for some very nice surprises in the months to come.
Sounds
is
good.
the funk
Glad to be holding.
still around about 40K-ish, eh? So if you don't have funk, you know, our suggestion is go and buy it. You know, go and get some funk. We'll be giving away some as well, potentially, I think, tomorrow night. And let me get my PowerPoint presentation here for this hour before the hour. Senior Choice, what was the response after you asked me to explain? Broden asked me to explain law, and I just went on this like sermon. What?
It was beautiful, Alex. It was beautiful.
Jason, not Rob.
Yeah, we were meant to have a chat with some of the ambassadors joining the forces. but it was best for them to be there. So we also reschedule like days always back to back, back with stuff. But we're cooking unks, and I think that it was the best onboarding. We need people to understand the mission and the vision before they understand the other perks of being part of our community.
Yeah. Also, well, I think that's important, but that I don't know what happened, man. I was just up there. I don't know. Lately, if you tell me, explain the lore, speak about the game, I just wanna, I want to tell people the why. What drives us. Like, and I just saw all these mostly like young Nigerians and whatnot there. So I was like, you guys are getting a sermon. Because I've got such a heart for Africa, man. Really. So most of those young guys, I know they're from Kenya, Nigeria, whatever, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Lesotho, and a couple from uh, Asia, yeah, and they're in that chat. But whenever I see like a collection, especially of young African guys, especially if it's young African men, I mean, I've got compassion for everybody, but we do a lot NGO wise for the girls, but I've got this heart because most of those guys will inevitably grow up fatherless. It's just Africa's a really tough place to be a man. It's really difficult because of the trauma of poverty, and I just go into that mode where I'm like, okay, I'm in dad mode now. let's get to the heart of the hearts. Were there any responses, or did you guys all just leave after I went to the
No,
meeting?
yeah, there were responses. Everyone's so excited about everything. You know, the the intention, the mission was achieved in reaching the soul when playing the cinematics. The sound effects of the game are just next level, and the intro cinematics. I need to have that handy somewhere so I can just showcase it anytime. But yeah, it's like a movie. It's
We've
like
got
you're
some more in
watching a
the
AAA
media
movie.
folder. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. I'll give you the linky for that. Yeah, I
Hey,
saw
hey,
one of the
Sterling.
comments. Joey was like, "Look at this." The one guy saying, "Why aren't there any African people?" I'm like, "Bro, there's African people in everything." So, we must put more African people in our videos.
Yeah, nice. We were happy, excited, expecting more, expecting mobile version, expecting the browser version, but excited to get involved. I mean, they are loving it. Indeed, with the budget, what we have so far, it's mind blowing.
Yeah, were they able to grasp that when I said like everything you see is like under 200K over 3 years? I don't know if people understand how little that is for what they're seeing on screen.
Yeah, sure.
And to think that money's been dumped on studios, the millions, and they fail to deliver. Like they just raised from pitch decks and then did nothing with the budget, but living the life.
I mean, damn, look at Sandbox winding down.
That
It
was
was
crazy to see.
$350 million in sales, 100 and something million across 6 rounds. I mean,
What?
just last year they raised, I think it was 20 million at their billion-dollar valuation. And now they're pivoting to be like a meme coin launchpad. It's just like, how? How? Where where are these VCs that are backing this sort of stuff? Like, I want to talk to them.
Yeah,
I want to.
we
Yeah.
need them aboard. I do remember when I was working with Animoca brands, I would always wonder myself because, they put lots of money into Liberty Gaming, and we're talking millions, and then they wouldn't even ask for their investments. They would just say, "Hey, do you need some help? Do you need some events? We're organizing this thing here and there. If you want to connect with X or Y, just let us know." And through the from 2021 almost until the end of 2023, I never Liberty Gaming Guild died before they even asked for any returns. And I was like, so is this company just able to dump money into a project and then forget about it? Like, where's that money coming from?
That's crazy. It is crazy.
Yeah, they got crazy money. Well, I mean, Cat knows people with a lot of money. A couple of trillionaires. Oh, that's going to be us.
Yeah.
So what have you,
is that going to be your millionaire? Is that going to be your millionaire dance? Have you got one ready? Because you got to get
No,
prepared
that's
for
his.
that.
No, Cat. That's his billionaire dance.
No, that's my
Oh,
my billionaire
no, but
dance
we need one
looks
for a
like this.
millionaire. No, his
Well,
billionaire.
let me just start
Yes.
taking off my clothes right
good
now. That's
Lord.
my billionaire.
Put them back. Put your top back. Keep that
I'll
for
go.
Mrs. Funk.
I'll go full Brad Pitt on y'all. I'll
No,
just
do you
walk
know
around
what we can do?
chest
We
out.
can do you doing
Yeah.
like a bomb into the pool. We can make some kind of like dance, and you can do like a big splash, and we can make something special happen for the
Yes.
billionaire dance. Yeah, I'm already starting to think.
Can I use that content to pump the Funk talking?
Yeah, at that stage, at that stage, Funk will begin the build of his version of Wakanda.
So, Cat,
Lucille, forever.
forever. Why can't I be a billionaire? Why can't I forever?
Yeah.
Hey, where did I put
Good
these things? Did I
times.
break something here again? Apparently. Excuse me. Somewhere
Bless
in
you.
the mix here. Thank you. Let me share. So, Kat's going to explain this to you. I'm going to share something, and Kat is enthusiastically going to explain this picture because she's clever. I remember when I used to be clever. My name was Cat at the time, and now my name
good
is
name.
just Tack. I went from Catty to Tacky. I don't know. That's the best I've got, Cat.
I'm rolling my eyes, but I don't know if anybody can see me.
We see you.
Yeah. All right,
I've
Kat,
got to explain this picture.
Yeah, explain this picture, Kat.
Oh, good Lord. No, I had some really...
No, I'm just me. I'm just Andrew.
No, I actually was going to ask some questions for us, newbies anyway. And so now you're going to... Some of this is just going to give up that I'm a newbie. It's going to show how much of a newbie I am.
All right. Just read the heading. What does the heading say?
Okay. Whitelisting and airdrop allocation ranking structure. Dun, dun, dun.
So what does that mean? Dun, dun, dun.
That is a great question.
Let me strategically jump in. There's a lot of red keys. I see a lot of red keys.
Red and white. Yeah, got a lot of keys. Yeah, yeah. Keys open doors to something. They unlock something.
Yes.
Bunch of amateurs.
And there's a plus and an equal, so the key can equal
so quick maths
plus certain things.
I like it.
And Lucille has a very big key, so is that more keys than the Lucille pack with 2 little keys? Does the big key open something bigger?
We're just talking about kissing makes me want to be Mandy.
Katsu.
Key plus
equals
Katsu.
3. Yeah. Equals 3.
Ratborns.
Ratborns. Woo, ratborns. Okay, 1 key. The Katsu equals 3 ratborns. We are awesome. We are very good at this.
Okay. And then I'm assuming
And
the
everything
number
in
of
our
keys-
ecosystem gets you rewarded.
Exactly. So
Yes, correct.
if we look at the per 5 million funk is 2 baby keys, and then the funk NFT is 2 big keys. Is there a difference or?
Skin him from a sinner.
Listen, keys are just moving around.
Skin him from a sinner. Skin him from a sinner.
Now the infinite
Wait,
redeemers
now-
get no keys. Wow, Jason.
Wow.
Listen, gentlemen, please. I need to do calculations. Stop moving the keys.
Skin him from a sinner.
So Andrew, why are the keys so small though?
Skin him from a sinner.
No, but wait.
Oh,
We
the
didn't
big
address
key's gone.
Cat's comment,
Wait.
man.
What?
He said it opens
Oh.
up doors, right?
Baby key, baby key. Baby key, do 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 do. Baby key, baby key, do 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 do. Baby key.
Baby key. There. Right. Now there's no more confusion
Okay.
about key sizes.
Okay. Okay, so we've got a Doksuki, we've got a Lucille, so we've got a key plus a Katsu. What? Is that right? Okay, equals 3 Wrathborns. Okay. Okay, listen, I've also got a mosquito on my screen, which I'm just going to squish right now to get out of the way.
No, that's Rob. We can.
Okay, all right. Now I'm okay. 3 Wrathborn, Katsu, key, airdrop. Okay, so the key unlocks something. So the key opens 3 Wrathborn NFTs.
Does it
The key
open
plus a Katsu.
or do you get from the key?
Well, listen, it says Katsu key airdrop opens 3 Wrathborn key. I'm just reading the instructions.
Skin him from a cinema man. Skin him from. All right, so.
Listen, Uncle. Myself and Kat are trying to help you, and we're feeling a bit of shade getting thrown our way right now.
How much shade are we talking about?
Then we'll fight in the shade. All right. So.
Okay, so a funk is worth 2 keys. A funkette is 2 keys. And what is that at the bottom on the right?
A funk. Listen, Kat. What does that say? Per 5 million funk.
Okay.
You get 2 keys.
What are you eating? I want some too.
I'm actually not allowed to be eating this.
That looks like
I'm going to tell
sweets.
Mandy.
Uncle.
Candy coated biscuits.
Ooh.
I picked up a kg. Which and that wasn't in gym.
Maybe you can airdrop it later.
Make some Bitcoin.
So was
Load shedding.
Kat and myself's calculations correct here, Uncle, in terms of our mathematical?
I saw you sent
deciphering.
a link, a picture. And have you sent a link yet for? Did you make a thingy for this on one of your clever AI website thingies?
No. That was just trying to just do a simpler kind of thing. I hadn't finished with it. I just wanted you to have a look, see into WhatsApp,
Hey, buddy.
what it looks like, you know.
So let me walk up and down and explain what everybody's seeing here.
Ready.
So According to one Jason and Tamsin, what we have here is an asset-driven economy. Let's all say it together.
An economy.
Asset-driven economy.
Yeah, the Italian version worked as well.
Asshats. What?
That too.
What? What did you say?
Where can I mute Rob?
All right. I knew that was coming because I wanted to say it myself, but I'm professional. So
all of this
assets came up with the economy, but it is an asset-driven economy. This is how. Remember, our goal is to create millionaires in our community, right? And we ask that question many times. Well, at least I do, it appears. Ask this question. No, we do as a team. Ask the question like, how do we create an economy where people who hold anything are rewarded for it consistently? So in our ecosystem, that is right, 4 keys for a funkette. That was supposed to copy, and I dragged it instead. I apologize. Thank you, Captain Buddykins. You seem to care about my little keys. All right. So in the hierarchy, which is how we greet an archy. Nobody picked that up. Come on, a hierarchy, which is how we greet an archy. Come on. Nah, man.
I can't keep up with all the eye rolling.
I mean, yeah.
Sorry, Anki, your talents are wasted on us.
I mean, it had substance. It did have substance.
All I'm saying, though, is with the amount of dad jokes rolling in and around this Discord server and all these chats, sometimes I feel like I have a kid running around here somewhere, man.
Well, just adopt. It's like you choose kids out of a catalog, man. We got like 6. That's the best one. We'll take that one. That one's amazing. We'll take that. How much for that one? No, that one we'll pay you to take that one. Okay, yeah, give it. Nobody wants this one. Give it to.
Blush, you could just adopt Rob if you wanted, Blush.
Rob was considering adopting Blush. But anyway, okay. So these are all assets. Even the funk token are assets. Your goal should be to hold 50 million funk. That should be your goal. All of this is heading towards the CTL, the Citadel token launch. So everything that you see here, like the next drop is the Doksuki. That's the next mint. The mint after that is going to be the Katsu mint. And then hot on the Katsu mint's heels, the Citadel platform, or the parts of it that are necessary, will be ready. And then we will be doing the Citadel token launch. And if you want to hold enough Citadel to change your life, you need to be looking seriously at what I'm showing you today, because this ecosystem, everything depends on everything. We are building a $1 billion company. It is our obsession, every single one of us. If you look at our ecosystem, we have got more than 50 active either investors or sweat equity holders, or people who are spectacularly active. And for you to build anything great, you need to try and hit that 50 mark. So just by looking at the community, you know that we're going to hit our goal. So obviously our first goal is to have $1 million company. And by $1 million company, we refer to the fact that internally it is generating $1 million a year. And to do that, we needed three specific things. Number one is a platform where the NFT ecosystem and tokenomic ecosystem has utility. In other words, a platform where all of these NFTs can actually be used, where they actually have worth to other people other than what community gives them. So I'm going to be teaching you guys every night for as long as I can, whenever I've got energy, and bringing people on to teach you guys as well what a tokenized ecosystem looks like. And the goal is that we change as many lives financially as possible. So goal number one for us was, you've got to have a place where the products have worth, they matter, they're of use to everybody in that community. So games are by far the biggest community income generating vehicles on earth. Gaming is where there are many, many ways to make money from that ecosystem. So we chose gaming, and specifically building a game that has everything we've ever wanted in a game in that game. So we have achieved the MVP. Well, we went past the MVP, which is the minimum viable product, and we are now at the pre-alpha stage, where NFTs, specifically turret NFTs, they now have utility in the game. Right, and I'll explain everything that you're seeing on screen in a moment. So that was very important for us, was to get to the point we're at now. It has taken us 3.5 years of utter sacrifice, hard work, long days. I mean, the long days are not slowing down, but where we are at right now is we're about to get to the place where we can now generate something that is called metrics. So metrics is what investors, people who provide liquidity, people who give grants, people who determine whether or not you are a risk. The metrics are what they look at, and that is the information around the sales and the trading. So they will look at the amount of transactions happening. They will look at the and that is just transactions, not the monetary worth of the transactions, just the amount of transactions. Because in Web3, transactions themselves are very, very important, because that shows the potential of what that ecosystem can produce. What can it handle? How many transactions per second? How many transactions per hour, per day? Hey, Kev, good to see you, brother. Right, so step one for us was this platform where we are at now, and we arrived at this point 2.5 weeks ago, and we are now refining this alpha, this pre-alpha product, this place where the NFTs and tokens have use, they have utility, and they matter to everybody in the community. And we're refining it right now in its single player iteration. So the single player version of it, right? And at the same time now we're moving towards multiplayer, which would be cooperative modes where you can play together and put down turrets together and fight the waves of stuff coming at you. Then the multiplayer mode where you can shoot at each other. Then the MOBA, which is a kind of like Dota and League of Legends, and then the Battle Royale. So that's the vehicle. And then later on, obviously, the MMO. But right now, that is the vehicle that gives NFTs their utility, their worth, their use. Okay. That was number one. That was the first goal. Second goal was to actually have the vehicle that that produces these NFTs and produces the tokens, which is how we came up with the Citadel. So in the Citadel ecosystem, which is what we're building now, that is where you can take all of the NFTs that you collect, and you can You can buy them there, you can trade them there. And today we had a very good meeting with a company that is going to carry the liquidity to make it possible for those of you who might not be able to afford a $100 NFT, because currently those are the prices of the NFTs right now. It's $100, $50. They're quite expensive in general. The funks and the funkettes, they're up to $300. So now with Merso, who can see the promise of what we're building on Operation Safe Place and the Citadel, they will be allowing players to pay for 50%. So if you see like a pack that you need to help you earn much higher level NFTs so that you can sell those to other players who really need them, you now have this exciting dynamic where you can just pay 50%, and the next month you can, over the next 4 months, you can pay off that thing, and it actually gets you into the race. So tools like that are coming into the Citadel ecosystem around Operation Safe Place, and that was really the second thing that we needed before we could really get aggressive about launching our token. And if you listen to what I'm telling you today and you follow all the instructions that I give you in the next 14 minutes, you will have your life changed. So our job is to produce the platform, these two platforms. So remember, there's three things. I'm sharing the first two, the two platforms where every product matters. Every product has utility. It has a use in the game, which means it has a use to the rest of the community. Hey, JP, good to see you, man. So Citadel is where you will be able to mint your own NFTs, where you'll be able to launch your own tokens for in-game as a clan. You will be able to buy entire branded ecosystem. So if you want to get sponsors, you can buy an NFT that gives you a branded arena battlefield. So you can brand it the way you want it to be, which means you can go and get sponsors if you want to, as a streamer, stream that endless arena. You'll be able to buy clan battleships where you can name that battleship whatever you want, and well, not whatever you want, but you know what I mean. And you can do all sorts of cool things where it's yours, and then get it to a place where other players want what you have done. You can buy things for clans, for fire teams, but remember, the goal between Operation Safe Place and the Citadel is that every single NFT, every single token in our ecosystem has real utility. So anything you see in this picture right now, owning it is going to contribute in a big way. And that brings me to number three. Number three was to have a community that understands what they've got. And that comes via education. Because if you're not educated, you are going to degen all of this. You're going to try and flip the things and not understand that what you've got there is a big investment. So first off, I want to encourage you. One of the most important things that you can hold in our ecosystem in preparation for the Citadel launch is you want to hold as much funk as you can. Funk is very cheap right now. I mean, it's not as cheap as it was. The floor, I think, is around about $40,000. It was holding at $27,000. I think our lowest floor when we started was at 17. It was 16,000 floor, and then it went up to 17, and I was very happy. It shot up and it came down, but it always held at 15, 16, and then it went up to 24, and it held there. And then there was a big spike, and we all watched and waited for that. It was up at like a $60,000, $70,000 floor, and we just waited for it to normalize. And it has normalized down to $40,000 floor, which means it's still affordable, because we're not pumping that thing. We're not pumping to dump the funk coin. Its purpose is for us to see who is real, who is actually in our ecosystem, who is watching the streams. See, this is called a founder funnel, where you guys watch me every day. You come and you comment and you hang out. And the people who are in this founder funnel are real human beings. You can't, as a bot, be here every single day and understand what I'm saying. So people here can try and activate bots, but me going live every day is part of our strategy, and that's why it's exciting. Where you'll meet more and more. You spend more and more time with Rob and Blush and or Leonard and Jason and Kat and Tamsin, and more and more, and Senior Choice, and you'll get to know the leaders in this community, because knowing them gives you access to alpha. Alpha is inside information which you get before anybody else. So the third thing, so remember, the first thing was to build these 2 platforms that give everything we will ever launch utility. And the third thing was to have a community that is educated. And my personal goal, because I know Rob and the team will have probably bigger goals, because we all think on different battlefields. But my personal goal was to have 50 people who understand what you're looking at here, this picture that you're seeing. And I'm hoping that today I'm going to bring that up to 52 people or 53 people, even 51 people. That you understand that in our ecosystem, whenever we do a mint, whenever we launch a token, that thing is going to have purpose in the greater ecosystem. So here you're seeing an example of what's about to happen. First off, the Lucille NFT, which is this one here, and the Katsu NFT, which is this one here. And then there's another 2 more that are still coming. So you're still early. Remember, if you're early enough to hold a Lucille NFT, or even a Lucille pack, which has 3 Lucille NFTs in it, but if you're early enough to hold a Lucille NFT and soon a Katsu NFT, you are in before our main marketing campaigns, where between 5 and 50,000 players enter our ecosystem, where we actually spend money on Web 2 marketing. You're in with assets that they will need. So you want to be holding Lucille's, Katsu, the next one's called Upt, and the next one's called Crispus, but you want to be holding these things because they have incredible utility. And the way you get them is with everything else here that I'm showing you. So if your goal is to have 50 million funk, but however you can, through competitions, through buying and holding, don't look at the funk as something that you buy to sell. That meme coin over there is how we see you are real. And when we see that you hold, so people who hold that goal, like let's say you've got 10 million funk or 20 million funk, you're going to get these keys. Every time there's a mint, we give the real people these keys. And it starts out over there with the funk, because we know that people who are funk holders are part of this founder funnel. You're with us. You're live with us. And then we've got these funk and funkette NFTs. So if you're a funk holder, there you get 2 keys there. I'm going to tell you what the keys do in a second. And if you've got a funkette, because that was like less than half the amount of funks, it was specifically to people in the founder funnel community that we gave these assets, that we let them get these assets by sending funk. So they would send 5 million funk to Integrity DAO, and then they would get one of these. And if you go and look at what they're worth, I think the cheapest of these is worth $100 or $80 or whatever. So the the community is the ones who make the money. But the big value is not in selling this thing. The big value is in holding it, because these keys are going to become more and more valuable as we get closer to Christmas and Christmas. So these keys over here, so these are the guys who were in very early with infinite redeemers in the Myth ecosystem. So for every infinite redeemer NFT they have, they get 2 keys. For people who have Lucille packs, they get 2 keys. For people who open the Lucille pack, 3 Lucille comes out, and you'd get a key each. But you need the packs for later, so you've got to decide: are you going to open that pack, or are you going to keep it for later? The Doksuki, which is about to happen now, this here on this snapshot, you'll get 5 keys if you're on this whitelist already, because this is the mint that's happening right now. And these keys, you only need 1 katsu, and you can use one of those keys to open a loot box. So that loot box checks, do you have a katsu? And you can only get onto this whitelist over here if you hold one or all of these. The whitelist ranking is determined by what you're holding. And remember, all our NFTs mint out. Can I say it again? All our NFTs mint out. We have not had one in everything you see here that is not minted out in under 2 hours or over 2 hours. Lucille minted out in under 2 hours. The Funks minted out in under 20 minutes. I think the Funkettes was in seconds. Doksuki, I think, is, I don't know if anybody who's not on the whitelist is even going to have a chance at anything other than the secondary market. And even though the katsus are going to be thousands and thousands and thousands of these katsu packs, they're going to mint out, because we have gone past that 50 active, focused community members. And the reason you want to have a katsu and a Lucille is because this is what we look at when Citadel mint comes. Who gets in at what stage? Who gets in at the pre-sale stage? Who gets in at the whitelist stage? Who gets in before it goes public? And you know why we do it this way? Number one, obviously, we want you who are in the community to always benefit financially. But number two, we are making sure that bots don't run our ecosystem. We are making sure that bots don't run our ecosystem. So this is how we check who's active, because it's not expensive to hold these things. You usually just have to be present. And so in this hierarchy here, the whitelisting in the hierarchy, holding, see, 5 million funk gets you 2 keys. 50 million funk, which is the max amount of keys we can give you for funk per wallet, will give you, what is that, 10 keys. And these keys over here equal 3 NFTs if you hold one of these. Now, the question is, if you hold one of these, getting these things is going to get more and more rare. These are called the primes. I'll break that down some other time. We got 3 more minutes before the X stage starts, and that's where we'll be sharing the vision as well. I'll broadcast that live on all the different platforms. But it's not as complex as it looks. All you need to know is that you got to try and hold all of this. And we're busy building, that's what Rob and I chatted about just now. We're busy building a website where you can actually go and it'll check what your current score is. It'll check your holdings. But I can't tell you enough that if you want to benefit the most from that Citadel launch, what you want is to have as many katsu and Lucilles as possible. The packs, the cards, and you want to have as many keys possible, because there's someone in our ecosystem who I think they got 300 keys. So that's 900. I think there's someone, like 900 or 1,500 NFTs that they already have. And you're like, how does that matter? Well, to in our ecosystem play the later content, players will need upwards of 625 NFTs infused into one just to be able to play the top end content where they can earn the best, most valuable NFTs. They will need loadouts with 25 cards that are fully infused. So that's 25 times 625. That's like thousands of NFTs that they need in that ecosystem. So you need as many as you can. This isn't a place where you're trying to not have NFTs. This is a place where you want many. Buddy says, do we keep the Katsu NFT after using it with a key? Can Katsu be reused? Yes, that's why you have the keys, because we don't burn NFTs. Sorry, Kev just joined StreamYard. Sorry. Usually there's someone helping me here. There's Kev. Hello. Just in time for us to join the X, Kev. Hi, Dom.
Hey, brother. How are you doing?
Doing good, man.
Good. I've just set up StreamYard. It's my first account. So, yeah, I'm in the background. I'm just setting up.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. Well, it's wonderful to have you here. I'm now, so I will, on the different platforms, try and answer questions by typing there. So on Arena Social, you're welcome to ask questions about everything that I shared. And I will try and answer them by typing. The X space, which I'm going to share now, please help us there with comments to pass 100, because X on the algorithm likes it when you pass 100 comments on a Twitter space. I now have to try and find the link. Okay, so in your choice, shared it over there. Going over there. Okay, start listening. So I'm going to log in. Oopsie daisy. I'm going to switch accounts and log in. Yeah, I'm going to listen to the Citadel live with that account. Operation Safe Place. All right. There's nothing happening yet. And then I'm going to join with my phone. So you guys are going to hear me jabbering on my phone. Stand by. I'm going to share all of this now. So what I'm doing here. Stop screen. I think, Kat, are you jumping on the X stage as well?
Hang with us. We're going to have an amazing conversation today.
Oh, I've got so many things open. I'm just clicking in all the bad places, the wrong places. All right.
Are we moving to the X space?
X, yes. Cool. Yeah, we're moving to the X space. Okay. Share screen. All right. Okay, so now my other phone. Let's see.
Hey, let's start introducing the speakers of the ride. We're 2 minutes in.
Let me know if you can hear it in your choice.
The music, and if it is, it's not that good. So we already got some legends up in the stage. For everybody in the audience tuning in, let's just start introducing yourselves. Today, I'm going to have Ludix. I wonder who's behind the account. So Ludex AI, you guys are cooking. Help us with an introduction, please.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Adam jumping behind the mic today. If you guys were there at the Mr. Console Space yesterday, yeah, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago. Sorry, I got baby brain. I just had my third boy, so I'm at the hospital currently taking this. But such a good vibe, and honestly, it's a good breath of fresh air. We're Ludex. We create simple, casual games via prompts, so it's sort of like ChatGPT. But all you do is just describe it in a prompt-based style, and this our AI assistant cooks up a game for you. Very interesting. Where we kind of stand out is how creators can monetize their game through the Web3 aspect of it, and not only that, it is super convenient for creators to monetize that way. Just in terms of controlling profits, and making money off their creation. So that's sort of what we're cooking up, and it's a pleasure to be here. And thanks everybody. And I know a few speakers here today, and it's a pleasure to reconnect.
Hey, Adam, amazing. Congratulations on the new mint. That's always a 1 out of 1, so it's an ultra rare. Hope that your baby is doing fine. Thank you for joining us. And yeah, you guys are cooking. I know Habibi Tanzam is going to have a chat with you guys soon to see what we can do to pump the funk, but that's great. All right, Lito, my brother, you're always supporting us around. Thank you for joining. Please introduce yourself. And I'm going to throw you an icebreaker question here. And it's going to be, do you believe that a strong community is more important than strong funding for a game's success and more in the Web3 industry? Yes, not, and why do you think?
Okay, hey, no, my name is Lito. I love talking to Web3 founders. I talk on shows every Monday at 12 p.m. EST. I'm talking to one of the team members of Google, a coin on Abstract that has been doing ways, and I'm looking forward to that. Now, outside of that introduction, oh, that's tough, bro, because community is so important. If you want your game to be successful, if you want your foundation to be successful, you need that. You absolutely need that. But on the other hand, if you have an incompetent team around you, then who are the people that's going to be building? Like, unless there's a community takeover, but that's tough, dude. If I had to choose like 51-49, I'd say team. But do not discount the community. Those are the people who are going to be playing your game. Those are the people who are going to be sharing the news of your game to their friends. The best kind of marketing is person to person, like word of mouth. So those are the people that's going to be doing it for you. But if you don't have the hammer, how are you going to drive the nail? You know what I'm saying? You need the team to be competent and know what they're doing. So 51-49 team community.
Okay, you're bringing some balance. I love to hear that. Mr. Console is my co-host today. We love him. He's been supporting on every space, either Plate Change or the Citadel spaces. Earlier today, we had an amazing game night in the Citadel Discord with the big arcade community. This is a community you don't want to sleep on. And Mr. Console, you're the community lead of the big arcade community. So what do you think is the crucial part for a game to be successful? Is it the millions or is it the community?
That's a very interesting question. And shout out to you. Shout out to everybody in the building. Yes, we had an outstanding game night. I'm very proud of the army showing up, right? I think as a community lead, you always have that moment of tension, wondering if guys are communicating that they'll show up just to please you, wondering if they'll actually commit or if their plans will change last minute. But the army marched. We had a good time. I somewhat had to go into the background after an hour, but I saw the guys laughing, chatting, and I said, I'm happy, right? So thank you for extending that olive branch, inviting us over to your side and vibing with us. Circling back to your question, is it the millions? Is it the team? Is it the community? I believe it's the marketing and the storytelling. This is actually what I've come to believe. I've come to believe that we currently have an issue called distribution. And if you're able to get attention, even if your product kills, such as Coca-Cola or alcohol, which but which does absolutely no good to your body, but still sells. It's all about how you sell your concept. It's all about how you get people aware, how you generate excitement, and more so how you share the vision in a manner that they feel embodied, they feel that they're part of that mission. So for me, I would go with the marketing. Maybe it's because my experience is of that being a marketer, but how the team essentially communicates the vision, how it showcases itself. No matter the audience, no matter the niche, I believe it can find success.
Love it, brother. That's on point here. We indeed have that distribution problem in the space. There are some heavy news, like the sandbox was one of the biggest elephants in our industry. Was like one of the best iterations of the metaverse concept with huge brands and artists, Snoop Dogg, and you name it, right, jumping into it and bringing so much money. But now they're changing the model and they're pivoting to become a meme coin platform. Like, what's going on with the space? Jason, you're behind the Citadel account. This is the Citadel space. So go ahead with an intro of who you are and tell me, do you believe it's more important to have a strong community or to get that funding?
Yo. Well, I'm Jason. I'm one of the co-founders and CE bros over at Citadel and Operations Safe Place. The Citadel, what we're building there is an aggregation hub. So all the tools and services that you as a gamer will ever need in one place, the ability to grow your clans, guilds, and communities, and tokenize and monetize them all under one roof, plus all of the additional services that tie into our extensive network of games of our own, plus the third-party games that will be supported on the platform. So from NFT marketplaces, NFT launchpads, to the ability for small indie studios to actually be able to tokenize themselves in alignment with their own communities. And as to what is more important, well, you can't, obviously one is team competence and what drives a team, right? We've seen tons of projects in this space that have clearly just existed from an extractive point where it's just been sort of sale after sale, but they've never been delivering any sort of product or listening to feedback to adjust product to what the community wants. So the trick, as with anything in gaming, is understand what the players want, understand what communities want to see, and build something that can become self-sustaining, create revenue for a company, which is something that has been heavily lacking in Web3. So for us, community is everything. Founder-led marketing is everything, because there's nothing worse than wanting to back a product that the founders themselves don't even understand, don't participate in building, and don't participate in showcasing. And I would care to say that we do a bloody good job of doing that on a daily basis. So yeah, I wouldn't say there's any aspect is more important than another. It's like from a design and what you're building perspective, you have to build something strong, but then you have to make sure that what you're building is wanted. And at the same time, you as a founder and a team, you have to educate people as to why they want that. Get them excited about what you're building, what the prospects are of what you're building, where the upside is if they're participating as investors into a company, how you're building from the ground up and you're not wanting to, abandon them halfway through. So yeah, like you've got to cater to all parts equally, I would say. And yeah, I would like to say, we do a pretty good job of that. And our big fearless leader at the top of that funnel, I'll pass the mic over to Uncle Funk.
A leader, not the leader, sir. But I do love you dearly. My job is to lead the vision. Without the rest of the team, all I would be is a dreamer with delusions of grandeur. So my CE bros. If you treat your community as exit liquidity, you will bankrupt your community and have no liquidity, because your community is your liquidity. So if you ask the question, what is more important, capitalization or community? Community is capitalization. If you get capitalization, the purpose of that capitalization is to serve that community, because what you're doing is you are increasing the value of your product, the value of whatever it is. You can increase the value of a piece of pixel art that looks like it was drawn by a shaky-handed 3-year-old if you have a strong enough community. And we've seen this with the insanity in Web3 around NFTs. If you serve that community and you don't treat them like exit liquidity, which is the big challenge in Web3, you can have degens in your community, but you as a leader cannot be a degen. You cannot be a flipper. You can't flip your community. You can't look at your community as a means for a quick buck. Your entire focus has to be, how do I enrich our community? How do I serve this community? How do I wrap every strategy around abundance for this community? Because if the community is not your liquidity, if the community is just exit liquidity to you, what you will end up with is something called a pivot. You'll have to do something else because you need new blood to drain, or you need to drain the blood of your community in a different way. But if you understand that whatever you're building requires a community that has been served, that has been communicated with consistently, that has been taken seriously. Like, we take our community seriously. We take our investors seriously. We don't feel entitled. We don't make this demand, say, well, the community should be doing X, Y, Z. We look at ourselves and we say we should be serving the community with X, Y, Z. Because my answer to that question is, nothing is more important than that community. Your community is your liquidity. It is your capitalization. It is your lifeblood. It is your longevity. It is your generational wealth.
Loving it, Anx. Appreciate that take. There are some comments and questions. I see one coming from Warrior Cat. But before I throw the question in, I encourage everybody here to please go to the Purple Peel, repost, comment, drop some reactions. Let's tickle the algorithm and bring more people in so they know what we're here for and what we're doing, because we're here to change lives. So you're all encouraged to bring all of the friends, family members that you might have, install that X account on the phone of your grandma and get her to listen, because she can also benefit from the Citadel and OSP. The question that Watercat threw in the comments was, and I think it's directed at you, Anx, is how do we enrich and serve that community? How do we guarantee that those members that are joining us and understanding what we are doing over here, how do we enrich that community?
Excellent questions, as usual, from the very wise cat. Look, if we do our job properly, people who come into our community will rank up. They will rank up in wisdom and understanding. They'll rank up in perspective. They'll see what we're doing, why we're doing it, how we're doing it, and themselves be able to mentor new people who come into the community. So the best way we can serve our community, number one, is to inform them, keep them informed, answer their questions. And also, Kat knows this firsthand because she's a shepherd too. It is wise, it is right, and it is good that the wolves should fear the shepherds. The best way you can serve your community is to keep them safe. And that means keep them safe from people who who come in to cast aspersions and accusations, fear, unbelief, and doubt. You keep your community safe. You make sure that their faith is protected, because if someone puts $1 as an investment, puts 1 minute as an investment into your community, they just became an investor. There's something that must come back to them. So at the top of that list is you as a community member, you coming in there, believing in what's being built, investing in any way, become part of that sheepdog pack, that shepherd pack, who shut down anything that can affect the worth of those products. Because there are people who will come in there, they just want to make a quick buck. They're the wens. You know the wens? Okay, so we've got tongue-in-cheek wens, who we enjoy in our community. You know, their wens are optimistic, you know, when mint, when token, when this. It's an optimistic excitement. But you get those who come in there and pressurize you. They want you to release things so that they can turn a quick buck. They're wolves. They're foxes. They're selfish. They're narcissists. They are the average Web3 demon. They are. Yeah, that person needs to be Jonathan. No, bro. So they're the average cause of a fallen and failed ecosystem, because they get given a voice. They say terrible things about other communities. They say terrible things about community leaders. You know, if someone comes in and says terrible things about Lito, they're going to say terrible things about you. You know, if they come to me and say terrible things about Senior Choice, and they accuse Senior Choice of this and that, they're eventually gonna accuse you. I promise you this. This is their nature. So you, in believing in that community, whether you're the leader or a leader, or just a person who's part of the community, or an investor of any kind, you serve your community by protecting their ears. There's a saying that we live by: whoever has your ear has your heart. Whoever has your heart orders your steps. You know, so if you give your ears, I've got no time for critics, really, nothing. If you have not achieved what I want to achieve, been where I want to go, done what I want to do, you are a theorist. Your criticism is unqualified. I don't care how much rugby you've watched. If you haven't been down on the field, you're still a spectator, sir. Those on the field, those who bleed next to you, those who have your back, those who have got blood on the dance floor, on the battlefield, those are the people we listen to. And if you want to serve your community, you cannot allow people to have their ears who are not qualified or vested enough to have their ears. You serve them by looking after them. You serve them by asking the question, how do we keep their investments safe? How do we keep them safe? How do we help them thinking forward? How do we help them see the bigger picture? Because in Web3, a lot of people have been in communities where they got rugged. They bought into, just about every one of our communities is like a cult. You can't build this without making it like a cult. People have to be able to believe in what you're building so much that they throw heart and soul at it. And that means that if a narcissist or a coward is running one of these communities, everybody's hopes are going to be dashed. And hope deferred makes the heart sick, So when they come into your ecosystem, most of them come in limping. They've come from places where promises were broken. They've come from places where their hopes were dashed, and they don't know who to blame, because often there's nobody to blame other than market downturns, bad luck, bad timing, bulls and bears. So when they come in to your ecosystem, you've got to make healing them your first priority. restoring their faith, restoring their hope, communicating with them, being as transparent as you possibly can, and protecting their ears from the people who have weaponized their brokenness. There's a big difference between someone who learns from what happened to them, who lets history be a teacher, and someone who lets history become their master. People who come into that community are bitter, are angry, weaponize their disappointment, weaponize their brokenness, and often, compassion is the gate through which the wolves enter. So you have to measure your compassion and look at your community and say, how do I protect their investment? How do I protect them? How do I keep them safe? And how do I keep their hope all the way up there so that when others come in, they can be informed and excited and impassioned? And the last thing on my soapbox that I'll say here is, without passion, there can't be faith. And without faith, we can build nothing. So it doesn't matter what any of us have been through. Nobody has the monopoly on hardship. We've all been through hardship, possibly all going through hardship right now. But if we don't protect our own hearts and protect the hearts of those who join us, we will build nothing. We will build more broken dreams, more broken hopes, more broken hearts. But if we serve our community by protecting their faith, we protect the project, because there's no greater treasure than emotional drive. And that is what we must protect.
Loving it, Anks. You're always inspiring to listen to. All right, that's a lot to digest, but I'm sure that the audience is loving it too. We got two more speakers, a little bit of latecomers, but I'm going to welcome them. Mr. Consul, your hand will not go unnoticed. I see it. I'm just going to quickly pass it for some short introductions to Jonathan, XOBS, and to Marv that are coming to jump in the stage. Jonathan, a quick intro, and you're taking to what we've been asking so far, which is, do you prioritize funding or do you prioritize community? Anks already gave us his answer to this, which is community is liquidity. I think that's pure wisdom, but would love to hear your takes too. Then we receive Mard, and then we go to Mr. Consul.
Yo, what's up, guys? First of all, thank you so much for having me on the stage, and huge shout out to everybody, both in the panel as well in the audience. Throw up some reactions, guys. I want to see the love. I was listening to Uncle Funk right there, and I was like, damn, this guy always knows how to just word it so well. So shout out to you, man. Really glad to be here on the panel. Who am I? What am I doing? I've been an early builder. I've been building since 2017, launching some early crypto gateways. And yeah, I've been wandering around during the past years, but talking about what's important, is that the community or is it the funding? It is very hard to tell, right? But I do have to say that community is starting to still become such an important trait when you're building any kind of project. And why I say so is, right now with AI going crazy, code development is becoming more and more easy. And I'm sure that a lot of you guys down in the audience have been playing around with no code tools, Lovable, Vue, like a lot of cool things out there. And you just start to see that, the time to market is starting to, go down and down and down and down, and people are able to really just start scaling projects and testing out users feedback. But still, being able to have a community around that supports you, that loves you from the early start and get go, I think that's an ultimate game changer, and you want to have those people with you. And a big reason why I say that as well is, like, now I'm actually exploring other projects that I'm advising, helping out with, and they're basically, open sourcing majority of their libraries of code. And why they do so is because they openly invite as well their community to add on to that code, to audit the code, do various different kinds of things. And I believe, that's kind of, obviously, yes, with any chain, yes, we can follow the transactions and whatnot, but it's cool seeing other parts of those applications also being opened up. So I could ramble about that for much, much longer, but I will save you some time right now. But yeah, super awesome conversation. Super cool to see everybody in here. And shout out to you, Jorge.
Thank you for that. Appreciate you being here and making the time to accompany us too. Marby, you are one of our ambassadors. I see many more ambassadors in the audience. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for coming, for supporting, for amplifying and spreading the message of the Citadel and Operation Safe Place. Marby, your intro and what do you think from what everything that's being said so far in this space?
Okay, GM, everyone. Happy to be an ambassador for this project. I'm super excited. Love what you guys are building. I was part of the live call that went on Discord, and from the view I got from the game, it was very, very awesome. It looks more similar to like the likes of Dota Force, and I'm very interested in FPS and shooting games like that. So I myself am Mavstar, as you know me. My real name is Marvelous. So I'm a content creator in the Web3 space, a Web3 enthusiast, ambassador, and other things. Happy to be here to get great ideas and share knowledge with great minds that we have in this space. Thank you very much. So the conversation has been going on. I'm really happy for what you guys are building. The project really has a very good vision, and most importantly, I think I can recall one thing in particular which stood out to me, which is your community is your liquidity, because you can't just fuck up your community members and think you can rise back again. That's bullshit, total bullshit. So happy to be part of what you guys are building, and I'll still be around. Thanks for having me up.
All right. Welcome on the stage. Appreciate that. Okay, Mr. Consul, you gotta have to hold your hand because this is very special to me. Like I joined this Web3 world through Axie Infinity back on 2021, and Oliver Mills was one of my first bosses in this space. He was the head of communications at Liberty Gaming, where I used to, coach scholars, then lead community, then do business. He is an absolute legend and a great friend through the years. So, Ollie, I'm going to pass it to you to introduce yourself, who you are, what you've been doing in this crazy space.
GM to all. Well, if that is not an intro full of love, I don't know what is. Pleasure to connect with you, Choice, my fellow Web3 warrior. And as I said in the chat earlier on Telegram, you've done as much for me as I ever did for you, brother. So the love comes right back. Yeah, appreciate the invite. Happy to be here. Just a little bit about me. I've been in Web3, crypto for 7 or 8 years. Web3 itself for the last 5 or 6. Building, but not building like you devs on the stage and in the audience, but building brands, building narratives, building stories, and building communications that connect, that resonate, that capture attention. That's what I do. My code is words, and I just love to write. I love to help build and shape narratives that are going to help open the floodgates that we all want to open, that bring the rest of the world into the world we call Web3. So yeah, really, really happy to be here, and thank you for the lovely intro, Senor Choice.
Thanks to you, Ollie, for being here. You're a legend, and yes, I always highlight the work that you've done. Even when I made my first tier list, which was people that is awesome in this space, I had you in there. We need to get you in a call with the team, and you need to understand what's happening here, because the mission and the vision of the Citadel and Operation Safe Place are gonna blow your mind, and you're gonna want to be part of it. So there's that. I'll throw you a question later on, Mr. Consul. I know your hand is falling down by now, but I'll pass it back to you.
I'm here. Dang it. That moment you get called, you just up to something, and then your screen will not scan your face. Why does it do that? I wanted to raise my hand to make a comment on a statement that has already somewhat passed. But since you've given me the honor and circled back to me, I'll just raise this thought, okay? when we talk about marketing, we always think about the end part of a product marketing life cycle. And that is maybe running ads, that is maybe getting people aware of what your product is. But essentially, it starts with research. At least this is what my academic teaching has taught me. Even before you want to build a product, you want to do marketing research, which guides the prototype, right? So when I was answering, yeah, Jonathan. So when I was answering marketing, and I believe our friend the Citadel went ahead, I just wanted to throw that in the conversation as well. It's past, it's old news. What's the question you have for us next, buddy?
All right. The question that I will throw for the panel and whoever wants to raise their hand is, why do you think that so many big studios and projects have been failing in Web3 in our industry? Because it's painful to watch, and with the recent news from the sandbox changing their model from being the metaverse to becoming a meme coin launching platform, it's something that I can't help it but to talk about. So what do you guys believe is the reason behind all of the failure that we've witnessed in our industry?
Yeah, for sure. I can take this one. I'll be super quick. But thanks, Jonathan. Yeah, it's really tough. I think that in my experience, I think Web3 community members have the biggest case of ADHD on the planet. It's very, very difficult at the moment. It seems like, shaping communities, keeping long-lasting quality community members. And I think a lot of things are just, copy and paste it and cut and rerun. It makes it difficult for people. I think that we're lacking a little bit of excitement, something new, something unique. Being able to provide that, I think is, our key moving forward. But most of, these projects that are going down today, it's, one, I think a lack of funding. I think funding has been tough to get after the VCs have been trapped in some pretty crazy vesting schedules, but that would definitely help it. But other than that, I think, with what the tools that we have, I think it's makes it a little bit difficult, and people are just going through the motions and repeating the same thing in pretty much every community at the moment.
Appreciate that take, Adam. Accurate indeed. Lito, your hand didn't go unnoticed. I'm passing it to you.
Okay, so I noticed a little bit of a trend in Web3 gaming specifically in terms of teams trying to time the market in the same way that they would have in the previous cycle. So it's no secret that this cycle has been pretty sporadic. It's not really going the same way that for the previous ones have in terms of price go up, all of that. So I've seen that these founders or teams have been trying to time that market with their marketing funds, with just digging into their budget, trying to being like, hey, we should be peaking around April, May, June. So let's just go all out with the funds we have now, and we should be okay, because this is how it's gone previous cycles. And we've seen with I'm not going to give names, but we've seen with quite a few of these teams, of these projects, just shutting down like around February, March, April of this year, because, well, no one, like, they're expecting that more people are going to be paying attention to their projects, because it'll be the peak of the bull cycle, more attention, people are going to be coming in, they'll have more users, but that just hasn't been it. People have maintained a disinterest in the Web3 space, normies have, because why be in it if numbers not going up? Why be in it if the space on the timeline is gloom and gloom? So basically, just sum it down, like, teams have just been like irresponsible with their marketing funds, with their budgets, trying to time the market.
Brilliant take. It's indeed a trend, Lito. Appreciate that. Oli, you've been with me through failures. We nurture a community that had hundreds live chatting, gathering daily, and we saw it all fall apart. I can't wait but to hear your take. The mic is yours.
Indeed, we have. You have been my fellow community firefighter on more occasions than I can even think of. I've got a maybe slightly controversial take, but it comes from my sort of not expertise, but my field being in sort of communications and brand building. I have a background in education, and for me, I saw that as a huge barrier for a long time, the education barrier, the lack of understanding. And I do still think that to a degree, but I've kind of flipped the way I look at it. And rather than going down, the education route, something we're seeing a lot in other sectors now, particularly DeFi, is actually the abstraction route. And for me, this is the way forward. Gamers want to play games. Gaming is built on immersion, and the less a player has to think about mechanics outside of the game loop itself, the deeper they will get into the flow of the game and become immersed. And Web3 in a lot of places, it currently kind of breaks that immersion at every step with everything from wallet setups and seed phrases to switching chains to gas fees to confusing UX. To us, the Web3 natives, these are normal. We're used to them, and we try to teach the rest of the world. But the rest of the world don't want to learn; they want to play. You don't read all of the spec of what's inside a PlayStation 5 before you buy it. You buy it because they told you it's better and you believe them. You don't need to know the ins and outs of every single tiny little thing. In fact, you don't really want to even deal with them. And this comes in so many different areas: custodial versus non-custodial. In terms of financial aspects, as I mentioned before, gamers want to play; they don't want to manage a portfolio. And yet, in a lot of Web3 games still today, the player has to do exactly that: understand liquidity, decide when to stake, navigate all kinds of financial infrastructure that your everyday gamer doesn't have to. Yes, they might deal with in-game coins, but that's it. That's where that technicality stops. And for me, abstracting as much of that as possible and giving them familiarity, that is the way to real mainstream success. People use crypto apps, DeFi, and feel just like their mobile banking apps. So why would you approach it any differently with a game, whether it's from the financial structure behind the game, the in-game economy, the gameplay itself? As much as we don't want to be Web 2, we want to still be Web 3. We need to bring these Web 2 users in with familiarity. And then once they're in, the inquisition and the curiosity will begin. They'll start to say, oh, hang on a minute, what's this here? Let's check this out. Oh, I've got 500 of these. What are these? And then it will create a snowball effect of education that will then naturally, almost subliminally and subconsciously, turn them into a Web3 gamer. I didn't mean to go on quite so long there, but I hope that made sense.
Oh, it does. You're speaking our language, Ali, and we love it. Thank you for dropping the bars. Jason, your hand is up.
Thank you very much.
I know you got something to respond or to comment on it.
Yeah, no, I mean, couldn't agree more with Ollie there, actually. It's like when you've got games in Web3 that just seem to be hyper-focused on their token or inventing token sinks within their game, when they've used their token as a financial, like as part of a capital market to raise funds specifically for their game, and now they're focused more on token mechanics in a game that just adds unnecessary complexities to a game. And with most games, token-based economies don't really work, and especially not at the scale that we currently have in Web3. Like, gaming economies have to scale with a game's user base. You can't force economies into games. None of the great games that we have in the traditional space had their economies just flourish overnight. They were built up over time. And because of the expectations in our side of the industry, everyone expects an economy to just be there like that. It takes time to build. It takes time because you have to build the community around it, the player base. The players have to create their own communities within these games in order to generate an economy. The strongest way for Web3 games to actually build strong economies is just smart design with asset-based economies. If you have a token that is a part of your studio, as with the majority of studios, like in the traditional space, most studios aren't a single game studio. They will develop, iterate, launch, and kill titles at a rate that we don't see in this space. Because if you say to a community, hey, we're going to launch this one game, we're not going to do anything else. It's just going to be this one game. And the token is going to entirely depend on this game. The game fails. Most of these studios don't have the knowledge or the capacity or the capability to actually create additional titles, to try. Like 95%, I think it is, of games in traditional gaming make, I think it's around $1,000. Right? It's a very difficult industry. The crypto space needs educating on how difficult it actually is to build killer titles. The studios in Web3 need to study this as well, because a lot of them are first-time studios. And it is also, you know, as part of a growing industry, the wider community should learn to support the builders in the space to try and understand these complexities. It's not, you know, not every failure is a rug pull. Right? Not every failure is a rug pull. And that is something that is really important to understand. Where a lot of them fail, there's so many different reasons. You could do an entire space just on the conversations I personally have had with many founders that have announced closure in this year alone. It is an incredibly difficult industry to build in without Web3. Now, when you add Web3 on top of it, you're just adding extra complexities to, to be able to build something that is beautiful, especially if you actually care about the purpose of that Web3 layer, which is the value that the players can actually get out of a game. Be smart about it, understand how economies function, especially in games, and iterate, be flexible, engage with your community to understand the needs, areas that need improvement, concepts, ideas, because the likelihood that you've got some pretty hardcore gamers that actually do also understand nuances of economies and might have great ideas based on obscure games that they've played, always be listening, because you can always learn something.
Love it. That is the advice. Always be listening, because you can always continue learning this space. We have one of our best commanders, General Kev. Happy to bring you on the stage. Thank you for coming out, for requesting, and for raising your hand. Let the panel and the audience know who you are, and drop your takes, my man.
Hey, Sir Choice. Many thanks for giving me this opportunity to speak to the community members. Fantastic to be here. My name's General Kev Barefoot. I've been within this space for almost 4 years now. Have I seen projects fail? Guys, you've given me the microphone. That was the worst thing you could ever do. Can I tell you some stories about project failures?
The stage is yours.
I know, and I could speak all night, but I'm not going to do. I'll try and keep this as brief as possible. Guys, we've had some very enlightened replies here, and I agree wholeheartedly with all of them. Okay, there's many reasons that I've seen over the time of why some fantastic projects have failed, and you're quite right with what you've said. It's not about rug pulls either. And you know what I've seen very recently within the Citadel and OSP, and they've got it right. And this will come as a nice surprise to most people. Yeah, they've got it right. Why have they got it right? They've got it right because they look at the members. They look at everybody as an individual and what they can provide for themselves, how they can value each and every individual. Okay. Now, I've been a community leader for a good 3 years out of those 4, put it that way. And the very thing that has failed within those projects is the underhanded way that they have treated their communities. The project leaders themselves, the creators of the project, have not involved every single member of that community to create their own value, no matter how big or small that member is. Okay, and this is something that I've seen within the Citadel and OSP. They value each and every member. They've got it right. And I've got to admit, guys, this is the one thing that has drawn my attention to you guys, okay? Because you're the only projects that I've seen within hundreds and thousands of projects that I've studied over the past few years. You've got it right. Now, when we look at the Web3 compared to the Web2, what have we got so much different? We could have a whole list of differences between the two. But there's one thing that people need to understand. The difference is the way of life. Everything is changing for Web3. And if we don't understand this from the get-go, then we're going to struggle to get people to understand Web3. You have to start at the beginning. So education is key. Okay, so everybody needs to understand that they need to help each other. Okay, we're all educated to certain levels. Some are more educated than others. But if we all help each other as a community, then we're all going to make Web3 as a whole so much better for each other. Okay, Web3 started off really great. I'm sure you'll all agree with that. But look how it plummeted. One of the main things that plummeted, one of the main reasons why it plummeted, in my opinion, was greed. Multi-level marketing hit Web3. And I'm not joking, guys, the amount of money that I saw changing hands with no respect for the community members whatsoever was phenomenal. It was money over community, money over the longevity of good projects, okay? And this is what I saw literally destroy Web3 for the last 6 months to a year. Now, where we are today, we're lucky to be where we are today, and we've got a lot of work to do. But let's face it, guys, we're lucky to have projects like the Citadel and OSP. I can't say it enough, guys. We're in the right place. We've got somebody of substance. We've got a community that care. Let's work together and take this to the top. I'm sure you all agree. Thank you, Sir Choice, for giving me this opportunity to talk tonight.
Oh, no, you're most welcome, Jim. And believe me, I would open the door for you on every episode, even on the NGO ones. Love having you and love the takes and all of the love that you have and the support for our community. I think that it's time to give the mic to Unks, because some of the people in the audience and in the panel still don't understand what's the vision behind it all and how we can change lives in this space and why is that our mission. So I know that it could be a little repetitive across the different spaces, but I think that we need to keep reinforcing through every single space the bigger reasons that we have behind building the Citadel and behind building Operation Safe Place.
It's always dangerous giving me the mic, sir. I'm
always willing to take the risk.
I'm a spectacularly passionate man. And this isn't something that will pass. Let me just warn everybody in our community. I've been this way my entire life. I'm 51 years old. We've been working with folks in high poverty areas since I was 16. So, I'm driven by the same altruistic insanity. I am an incurable altruist and a delusional optimist. And I cling to these things because if I don't, I go crazy. So, Operation Safe Place, as you will hear us share often, and it's, I shared this in our directors group a few minutes ago. We're about to hit our groupthink threshold, where the community rapidly expands, and it's very important that as you come into this community, there's no doubt that you will rise, or you at the very least have the opportunity to rise in prominence as a leader, as a thought leader in our ecosystem, because this is the right time to join anything, just as all the horrible grinding work is starting to pay off, and there's actually a product and a strong leadership team. Those things exist, and when you come in and you rise to prominence, it's very important that you're able to say the things that I'm about to say yourself as if they were your idea, because this is your project. These are your bags. These are your investments. You cannot detach yourself from something and think that at this scale it will succeed. You must throw heart, and you hear the words I'm using: cannot, must. These are directives that are attached to objectives that require faith and focus and fury and passion and protective heart, because knowing your why is going to help you get out of bed tomorrow morning. It's gonna replace that broken heart that deferred hope has produced. And our why is we came here to change lives. And many of you fantasize about changing somebody's life. You sit there with nothing in your life, no money in your account, struggling, not knowing where the next bit of money is going to come from, and you still sit there and think about buying somebody a house, buying somebody a car. And sometimes it's not, I'm not even talking about your mom or your dad. I mean, who doesn't want to do that? But I mean, you just see people and you think, man, I would just love to help them, and that is part of that desire that we all have, this inherency in a lot of mankind, where you are better than you think you are. Just because your self-preservation instinct is governing your every decision right now doesn't mean that you're selfish. It just means that your desire to take care of your community is just not possible right now. And that is the core of who we are in the Citadel and Operation Safe Place community. We embrace that part of who you are, that desire to bring change into other people's lives around you, is the core of who we are. Not everybody can be as crazy, as Kat and Mrs. Funk and our team are, to sacrifice their entire life to work amongst young people in very dangerous and needful places. But everybody can desire to change the life of one or two people around them, and that starts small. Everything starts as a seed. If you want to have a tree that is full of fruit, you have to first put down a seed and realize that that seed needs to be protected from the weeds. It has to be watered every day or two. It's while it's young, you've got to cover that thing up and protect it from frost in winter. You sometimes if you're caring enough, you might even want to throw up netted shade over that young tree while it's growing, and understand that even if that tree has been perfectly grafted into another tree, it is still going to take 3 to 5 years for that thing to produce fruit. And if you built that thing from scratch, you planted that seed in the ground from scratch, it could take 7 to 10 years. It's a long-term commitment. And to maintain the emotional drive that you need to achieve that level of success, your why needs to be strong. You need to look around at the community that you want to bless. So you got to look around the community that you are and say, do I want to enrich the people around me? Do I want to can these guys last the duration of this battle? Will these people still be here in 3 years, 4 years, no matter what happens? Are they going to scatter? Are they going to flip and duck? Are they going to pump and dump? Or are they different? And I'm hoping you'd be able to say, are they like me? Not are they like Uncle Funk? Are they like you? Are they like Lito? Are they people who latch onto that why, latch onto that vision, and then build the heck out of it until that rocket lands on the moon? Small step for me, but a big step for my community. Can you hold on to your why? And our why is we came here to change lives. You've heard us speak about the NGO things that we do, but the lives that we talk about are not just the NGO activities. It's you. It's every person around us. It's the guy next to me. Every day I work with Rob and Leonard Blush, and Jason. I've chosen these guys and Senior Choice and Joey. I've looked at these people and many of you in here who I have incompetently left out. I look at you and B, yes, and I say, am I here to change that person's life? Am I happy here to be fighting this battle? Am I happy to wake up every day in the knowledge that everything I'm up to can potentially change Sammy Fide's life, Marcello's life, Ollie's life? Is what I'm doing here? Do I believe in this enough to achieve this goal inside of me? To bring not just superficial wealth into my own life, but to have this expanded community impact. Like that why is what drives us. We're altruistic, unashamedly so. We're unashamedly wholesome. I'm a man who believes in a present father. I'm a man who believes that a father who is driven to take care of his children and love his wife is the most incredible thing a man can be. That's what I believe. I'm driven. I honor it, and I know the depression that hits men when they can't provide for their families. I recognize that thing, and I ask myself that question every day: is how do I meaningfully in a community like what we're building be a part of the solution to that brokenness in men? How do I create a community that respects women, that is safe for women to come up on stage, where they don't have to cheapen themselves by trying to compete with lesser mortals, which is what men are? you know how do we create an environment? Because if you want to achieve greatness in a community, women must be prominent. They must have prominence in leadership, because women effortlessly will nurture and encourage, where men will drive and whip. And don't get too excited about that word, you naughty. But that is the why. Where does it all come from? It's our desire to change each other's lives in a meaningful way, to set a vocabulary that edifies, strengthens, it doesn't accuse. Our vocabulary doesn't it doesn't break people down. It doesn't tear into their character. It doesn't state suspicion as if it were fact. Our vocabulary doesn't make fun of the broken one. We don't try and position ourselves like a edgy teenager trying to be cool, saying things that he thinks the rest of his prefrontal cortex deficient friends think. We're not trying to impress our friends. We're trying to build our futures. And we build our future by building those to our left, to our right, those in front of us and those behind us. That's what drives this community. That's what will make us millionaires. Not, you can make yourself a millionaire if you're obsessed with your product and treating your customers as exit liquidity. But if you desire to create a community of millionaires, then you must be concerned with how they feel emotionally. Because as I ended my last soliloquy, emotional drive is the only treasure that matters. And if we can foster that in each other, we will change lives like you cannot believe.
All of it. It's always amazing to listen to you. X is giving me always a hard time. Can you guys hear me? Some thumbs up. It's confusing because it shows that I'm okay. Yeah. I appreciate that. Thank you, Fred. Yeah, X, the way that you look after your community and the way that you present it is inspiring.
Your choice. Are you rugged? Am I rugged? Who's rugged here?
Well, I can hear both of you. So, Choice, were you able to hear the Citadel?
Yes, I was able to hear Jason in a proper way. So
Sorry,
maybe he's driving.
I had left the pause there for Senior Choice, but I think he's having some issues because god damn, Funk.
Yeah, the Citadel. I believe, just to interject as a co-host, that maybe you have the issue because Sir Choice can hear you, we can hear him, we can also hear you, and I'm not sure if we can tell the host to drop down and come back up.
Nah, that's all good, man. Yeah, that's my bad. I couldn't hear Senior Choice. I can hear everyone else, so that's good.
Maybe you wanna
All
drop
right.
and come back up. I'll bring you back up as soon as you hit that request.
Yeah. Mr. Console, yes. What do you think of what's been said so far? Like, I've never seen someone so passionately protecting his community, and I'm happy to be part of it because, indeed, I come from uh, projects that didn't have that in them, that had communities willing to give their hearts and souls, their time, put the efforts in, grind the hours, but they didn't have someone looking after them. And I think that that's something that's going to change the way this project's going to succeed. Is when you know that from the upper placers, from the leadership team, there's people that cares, and like General Ken was saying, it's people that cares about you no matter who you are or where you're coming from. Because here there is no small guy or big guy. There's all people that's full of value to add and voices to echo and like to amplify. So I just love being part of this community. All right. Only now that you've heard the rants from the Funk and from General Kim, what are you thinking about? Because we need to educate you into what the Citadel is and why we are here to change lives. But what are your thoughts so far, my friend?
Honestly, I mean, the last speaker, I believe it was Uncle Funk. I mean, I could listen to you all day, brother. That's just, it's just amazing. The passion, the philanthropic approach to every aspect of the game, the community itself. It's so amazing and enlightening to hear. It really, really, really is. I mean, you put things in ways that and sort of framed them in ways that I didn't even consider, and I thought I was like you, but it turns out I'm a few levels below. You've blown my mind. You really have. So at the moment, yeah, I'm kind of still taking all that in, but I'm really, really keen to understand more and learn more. So what have you got for me? I guess.
All right, Jason, this is the moment I pass it to you, and we need to explain why people needs to be part of the Citadel, why people needs to go to the Citadel. I see you reconnecting. I see Jason requesting. I hope he was listening. I'm gonna add him as a speaker. I think he was listening to it. We're streaming on many platforms, so it's not just the people in the space. We have 130 people viewing us on the Arena app. We have some more on the different X accounts and in TikTok. So it's not just an X space. We always go beyond just for the rest of the panel to be aware of it. But Jason, I think that you're back with your personal account. What I want you to do now is educate the audience and the panel into why it's important to understand what the Citadel is and why it's important to be in the Citadel.
Well, because we're here. I mean, that's pretty much it. All that everyone needs to know is we're the ones running this show along with the community. Nah, I'm joking. I mean, I'm not joking. That's really serious, actually. Why it's important? I mean, Funk has kind of touched on this multiple times this evening already. It's like the way that we believe in community is we don't see a single community member as a there's entire profiles so that we can educate newcomers as well on like newcomers into the team as to insider jokes with the community, who comes from where. We've got community members that have been with us for the past 8 years through multiple projects. Like we have been here for every cycle, and what we're building now
is it's tangible, it's expansive. Like Operation Safe Place, Tower Defense is the first title of many. So there's many different game modes, many different game launches accessible to everyone, from mobile titles to PC-based titles and beyond. The Citadel itself is that all-encompassing platform where gamers can find all of the latest news. And when I say the latest news, I mean more news than you would even know how to find anywhere else. We aggregate the top news sources of all gaming content, the best and most recent offers for games within Web3 and in traditional gaming. The ability for you as a creator, as a community lead, as a guild owner, as a clan owner, to build your community from within the platform, to aggregate your chat so that you have one centralized system that you can manage all of your guilds from. We're building for gamers. We're building with gamers, and we're not building something that we can extract from at launch, right? So it's like a lot of the downsides in Web3 gaming has been, oh, this project has raised a barbaric amount of money. They're launching at an 80, 100 mil market cap, or way higher. Where does that leave the people that are supposed to be a part of that growth? It leaves them sidelined. It leaves them eventually buying into something on the way down. There's no upside if you're looking at it from an investment side. We build fair, we build publicly, we build transparently, and you can quite, borderline touch us because we're there building, streaming everything on Discord on a daily basis, multiple hours a day. So if you want to know what we're doing, literally just come and watch us build. And then you'll understand who we are.
That's a call to action, Jason. I'm loving it. I can't believe that we're already 10 minutes past the hour. The time is always flying when you got so much wisdom being dropped on the space. I just don't want it to end, but I know that we gotta start wrapping up things. I gotta be respectful and mindful of everybody's schedule and time. If anybody has to hop off, feel free to do so. I could go on forever. I'll probably try to extend this a little bit more minutes because we got so much alpha to deliver. We got some mints and we got some collections that are going to be available for our community soon. So let's drop some alpha for all of our community members. Let's tell them what's going to happen with the Doksuki, with the Katsus. Let's catch the community out to speed because we promised alpha and here we deliver it.
Is that me?
Yes, sir. We need to know what the keys do.
Okay.
How do we get them?
Okay, so as we've got a very clever head of Web3, Joey, aka Tams, and if you're not following him, I'm not saying that you're stupid, but there are signs, but we're, you should be following Joey. That's literally like the alpha tap. So as Joey and Jason is the man with the Web3 terminologies, I spend a lot of time asking him, what does that mean? What does that mean? But as they often say, that we have got a very asset-driven economy, which Rob, our CEO, says, well, more like an asshat-driven economy in reference to us who are responsible for it. But it is an asset-driven economy, which means that everything in our ecosystem has utility. Everything that you hold in our ecosystem is going to produce more access to airdrops and more access to whitelists in what gets dropped next. One of the exciting things that we're glad to finally be able to be doing with Joey. Joey's our head of Web3, but he also has his own community on Doge, the Doksuki community. And it's awesome that he's the first community to move on our epic onboarding program for communities out there that already have NFTs. And as you know, many of those communities went to the effort of creating these incredible ranges and building these committed communities. But now many of those discords are just graveyards. They've got the products, they've got the heart, but they just have nowhere to put it. So Joey Tamsin has this exceptional community and this brilliant NFT collection called the Doksukis on Doge, and is bringing them the NFT collection and his community, that entire community, into the OSP community. As you will soon see a little bit of alpha with the Moonizens. And what this means is that in our asset-driven economy, yet another NFT ecosystem that is playable in our game is coming in. And if you hold one of those NFTs, it is going to give you extra airdrops, extra assets when the Katsuyuki mint happens. The Katsuyuki mint is one of the primes in the game, and so far, all of our collections mint out. That's why it's so exciting to have a community like we do. So here's the alpha. Understand as much as you can, as fast as you can, so that you can hold as much as you can. And you want to hold as much as you can. You want to get those Doksukis now. You want to try and get everything else that's in our ecosystem, at least one of this and 5 million of that little token and a bit of this and a bit of that. You want to hold as much as you can, because both the Doksuki, which holding a Doksuki is going to give you 5 keys for the Katsu mint, and those things will mean a lot to you when you understand what we're saying here, because 5 keys equals 15 NFTs by itself, playable in the game. Once you hold those, there's a big TGE coming. Citadel is coming, and holding anything in our ecosystem, the Doksukis, the funkies and funkettes and funk token and healer NFTs, and soon the Rothborn NFTs, all of this will contribute to the whitelisting and airdropping system that we have for the Citadel TGE. So the big alpha here is ask lots of questions. You're late, but you're very early. You know, there's 2 years of mints and things in preparation for this grand TGE, and everything has massive utility. So you want to find out as much as you can now, because soon, when we are ready with our infusion system, when the Citadel platform is up, we are going to do a massive Web2 campaign. We've just locked in our non-custodial wallet system so that Web2 players have no idea that they're playing a Web3 game until it's time to cash out. You're in an ecosystem where players will require upwards of 1,000 NFTs to play in-game content. So everything that you have will have utility, because remember, we came here to change lives. So I encourage you again and again and again is ask questions, make friends, follow Joey, and whenever you see another ecosystem bring their NFT collection into Operation Safe Place, try and get in there and get as much as you can before the utility hits, because utility means worth.
Amazing, Axe. That's indeed on the alpha. Also, for those who want to try Operation Safe Place and get alpha access, you need a computer to run this at the moment, but we'll have a browser version available that it's different to what we have at the moment, but it's what we have is already mind-blowing. Ongs has his background in the filmmaking industry, and he knows how to tell a story and how to drive emotions. I think that you already got that from the space. So yeah, I'll just use the link ahead, and you'll receive an email with early access. You'll be shocked and mind blown by what you see, but it's the product of 3 years of hard work, of teams sweating and barely sleeping day in and night out. Yeah, it was an amazing space. Time is flying so fast. We are almost 20 minutes past, so I'll just pass the hands to the goodbyes. Thank you all for tuning in, for staying with us so long. Much love to all of our community, to the people that's coming to understand our community. Marby, I see your hand, and I'll pass it to you, and then some wrap-up thoughts and some goodbyes so that we can start closing the stage.
Okay, Jam, everyone. So I wanted to ask about I saw a post on Sir Chloe's page. I saw something about the acolytes. So is it part of like your SP ecosystem?
Which name did you say? Part of the OSP ecosystem, the acolytes?
Yeah, the NFT. Is it part of the ecosystem?
Yes. Okay, so our collections and links are in the Discord, but you can find us on Magic Eden and OpenSea. And yes, we do have some acolytes that are that came from the Lucille keys. I do own some myself. So these are NFTs that give perks to your towers. They give some traits, some damage and stuff like this, and they have different rarities, and you'll be able to mix them. But please, before you make any purchase, double check the links within our Discord so that you're not buying into the wrong place or the wrong assets. Yeah, appreciate the question and appreciate your presence in the space, Marty. Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Nice.
More than welcome. Ali, I'm holding you for long. I know that you got busy schedule, but I am just so excited to catch up with you again. Much love. Like, we go way back in this industry, and I'm honored to have you sharing the stage. Some wrap-up thoughts and goodbye words.
Yeah, man, no, it's no trouble at all. I mean, I'm going to make you feel even worse now. It's 3:20 a.m. for me here, but I'm actually just hosting spaces all the time at the minute for projects all over the world. So this is pretty much the middle of my day currently. So no, it's actually been a pleasure to get away from a space that I don't have to do to one that I really want to. And honestly, I thought I was just going to say a quick 10-minute hello, but the passion that I felt in here, the mindset, the drive, it hooked me straight away. When Uncle Funk was going on his one of the most positive rants I've ever heard in my life, I was absolutely encapsulated, and I've been thinking about it ever since. The way that you guys talk about community, and the way that a community should be treated. It's absolutely inspiring. Every person that you meet, whether it's real life or a community member joining you, there should be an opportunity, but not an opportunity to gain something from, an opportunity to provide. And that is what turns a community member into loyalty, into success, into your future investors, buyers, owners, whatever you want to call them. And just going back to very quickly the question you asked when I accidentally tuned in on StreamYard, about what's more important, the community or the funding. Well, let's be honest. You could spend $10 or $10 billion building a game, but without a community, what is the point in either? The community 100. They make the games that we play. That without them, the games would not exist. There'd be no one there to build for, no one there to provide entertainment for, no one. There would be no lives to change, as Uncle Funk so well puts it. And so yeah, for me, community 100. And Choice, you said you've been part of a project in the past where you haven't had that support and haven't had that kind of approach, haven't had, like, the community has been a crop to harvest effectively. But you forget one very crucial point, Mr. Choice, and that is the fact that you were that person at Liberty Gaming. You simply were handicapped by external restrictions that you couldn't control, and given the right resources and being set free to do what you wanted to do, I know you would have approached it in the same way. You have been that person. You didn't have the power to do it. But just some thoughts on everything that's been said. hugely inspiring conversation, and I will definitely be back for more. Cannot wait to find out more. So thank you for inviting me, and thank you for the opportunity. Much love to you all.
Much love back to you, Ollie. And yes, encourage everybody to give him a follow. Let's pump his numbers. He is a legend. He's been cooking so much over the years, and he's an amazing person to be around. He is into the education industry before he jumped into Web3. And again, he can break down something complex and make it simple for anybody to digest. I think that's the best way I can describe Ollie. But yeah, please drop him a follow. He is going to deliver value and not fail on it for sure. All right, we are wrapping up. Jen, Kev, I'll pass you the mic to say your goodbyes. Mr. Consul, sorry for holding you for so long. I'll also give you the mic for you to say your goodbyes and your wrap-up thoughts. But yes, please, audience, listeners, follow everybody here. It's always legends. And if I'm telling you, follow these guys because I really mean it. You won't be disappointed. General Kev, the microphone is yours.
Okay, Sid Joyce, many thanks for that. Wow, what a space. This has been an awesome evening this evening, guys. Very pleased to have dropped in this evening. Most of the time I can just drop in and listen because I'm multitasking. And this evening I'm lucky enough to be able to join in the conversation. And how powerful was this? I've got one word to say, guys. Unleashed. Unleashed. Let's unleash the love. Let's unleash the value that we are seeing tonight in the community. Yeah, let's remember that word, unleash, because that's what I'm seeing this evening in this community. People starting to believe in what they truly are. Okay, like somebody's just mentioned that Sir Choice felt restricted in all those months and years prior to where he is now. I know that feeling. I know that feeling. And you know your own values, guys. Unleash them, because now you're being given the opportunity. Okay. So my last words for tonight is take a moment in each and every day to nurture your own values and just share a bit of your own love in the community. Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'll speak to you soon. Thank you, Sir Choice.
Thank you, General Kev, for all of the wisdom and the beautiful words. We appreciate you. You know it. Okay, I'll pass it to Unks to say a short goodbye, and then Jason, and then we'll wrap up with Mr. Console, my co-host, to save the day, because X tried to rock me like 10 times. You guys were not aware of it, but yeah, I had to reconnect. Thanks for being there, my brother. Unks, the goodbyes.
Love you all. Do not be satisfied with yourself, but strive to be your higher self. Let's go.
Let's go, Unks. Thank you for that wisdom again. Jay, any wrap-up thoughts, goodbyes?
Sorry, my bad. I pressed the wrong button there. Goodbye. I mean, this has been fantastic. So, as I would end every single space that we do, it's like, number one, everyone that we tend to bring on stage are amazing people, and those that we don't bring on stage, nothing personal, but you're also great people. Follow everyone, follow us. You can follow our journey closer than you can follow most journeys in any industry. And yeah, for those that are interested in learning how they can support even further, just reach out to the team, because we're always there to answer everyone. So yeah, thank you, Senior Choice, as always, amazingly well hosted space, and I look forward to the next one.
Let's get it. Appreciate you, Jason. Thank you for coming and for facing the community. That's what the industry needs more. It's founders and core team members showing up, and we're pretty good at doing that. We got our core team and developers working day in and day out publicly on the Discord channels. You can go and chat with them and see what they're up to, what they're fixing, what's the new bug, what's the new glitch. We're always cooking. Mr. Council, I kept you for the last because there's much love for you. There's so much bigger love for you. Appreciate you big time for all of the support. Brother, your vibes are next level, so I'll leave it to you to wrap up this space.
Thank you very, very much. This space has been excellent. The game night was even better. I really enjoyed these discussions where we're talking community because I'm a professional community builder. And I can tell you for free the theory, the textbook explanation of how to go about building community makes it seem so simple until you're actually dealing with the human beings who have different emotions, different personalities, who in this digital space have different cultures. But whenever I hear the speakers who have spoken today speak about community, I hear them share their experience and them understanding the people they lead. It's been a really fantastic space. We've quite literally covered a vast array of topics. I love listening to such spaces. Thank you for honoring me as a co host. Do not feel bad that, you kept me till the end and things of that degree, because these are the spaces where Uncle Funk is present, Jason is present, Lito was here. We have the General, we have Ollie, we have Marv who stepped up. These are the spaces worth listening to. And that is very evident due to the listeners that have joined us all through. I'm seeing your emoji, guys. When we say community, we say you guys. So thank you, listeners, for supporting this project. Thank you for supporting these spaces. And next week, we'll be rocking and rolling at the same time, same place, with the same marvelous host. Congratulations on a great spacer choice.
Thank you so much, fam. Much love. Yeah, for all of our community, for all of the supporters, for everyone in the audience and in the panel, just much love to all of you. Keep being amazing. Like Unc said, keep polishing yourself, keep becoming that better version of yourself. Everybody's so full of potential and much to deliver. Find what you're good at and bet on it. Bet on yourselves and yeah, connect with people that believes in you too. That's gonna accelerate your results. So let's keep building. Let's keep building the future of this industry, and let's keep changing more lives. That's what we came here for. Thank you all, and have a fantastic rest of the week, the day, morning, evening, night, whatever you're in the world. You're all amazing. Cheers.
Well, that was good. I trust that everybody had a good time, learned some good stuff. And to everybody on the Facebooks and the X and the YouTubes and all that kind of thing, thank you for tuning in. And here's a healthy goodbye.